Good evening, friends, and welcome back to the Castro Valley News live show. My name is Robert, and this is the weekly talk show that we do every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. The concept here is that we have kind of an old school radio show where we get to talk about things that are happening in our community, things that might be on our mind, topics of the day, and it's a cool way for us to interact with our neighbors. And again, I am Robert. And like I said, this is kind of a radio type situation. So there's no video. So if you're seeing a black screen, that is intentional. And we're going to jump right into the roll call because people are saying hello. Good evening, Cali Life 80. Welcome. Good evening to Kimberley. Hope you're doing well. How is your bowling game, Kimberly? I hope you're doing well. Good evening to Christy. Good evening to Catherine. So what we're doing right now is every episode we do a roll call where folks listening get a shout out. And Kimberly is saying we just entered the yellow tier, which is great. Alameda County just entered the yellow tier in the COVID situation. So a lot more things are going to be opening up. There's going to be more capacity at businesses. So that's definitely a good thing. And our sports reporter and all around wonderful gentleman, Bob, is at the A's game tonight, and the score is Arizona 1, Oakland 0, top of the second inning, and that is from the sports desk and our wonderful reporter and gentleman around town. That is Bob. Thank you, Bob, for checking in, and thank you for all you do to make the show good. And if you're just tuning in, this is kind of a old school type radio thing where we just do audio, where we get to talk to our neighbors and talk about things that are happening around town, things that are on our minds. And we're doing the roll call here. If you want to shout out, just post a comment on the thread and we'll give you a shout out. Dennis, good breezy evening to you as well. Dennis, thank you for all you do and all of your support, all of your positive comments. Kimberly is asking the question that is on everyone's mind. Is Don ever going to return? That is Don Schalpi from One Bad Apple Records. I should have had this prepared. I'm embarrassed. Hang on. You can probably hear me typing, right? So to bring you up to speed, Don Schalpi was one of Don Schalpi is a wonderful guy. I've known Don for a lot of years. Don is he is a gentleman who is all heart. He's a super guy. He owns One Bad Apple Records on Castro Valley Boulevard. And to answer Kim's question, I honestly don't know if Don is ever going to return. But in the meantime, I definitely encourage you to visit his business, One Bad Apple Records. And Don gets commercials every week, which is awesome because he deserves adulation and accolades. But he is located at 2576 Castro Valley Boulevard. That's kind of across the street from Pete's Ace Hardware, another wonderful business we have in town that definitely deserves all of our support. And if you would like to call Don during his business hours, you might want to look online for his business hours because I think sometimes it might be hit or miss with when he's open, but it looks like he is opening 11 a.m. tomorrow. So you can ring up Don at 510-889-9409. I'll give you that one more time. 510-889-9409. And ask for Don and say, Don, we love you and we would love to hear and see you return to the live show on Castro Valley News. Maybe what I should do is I should reach out directly to Don and see if he wants to be a guest next week. And we can hear firsthand from Don what's going on with him. I think he may just be busy with work. Like I said, he owns a business. He's got a big family. I believe one of his sons just graduated, I think from high school. So Don's a busy guy doing a lot of things. And if you are looking for uh, vinyl records, Don is your go-to guy. Let me just share with you something in real life, and it's weird that I use that term in real life. I was talking on the phone earlier today, and I was just making a few phone calls, just acquiring some information, trying to get some things done. And I actually used the same cadence, giving phone numbers on the phone today that I do on the show, like I did 510-889-9409. I actually did that and gave out the phone number here, which I'll give to you, and you can hear the silly cadence that I use, the silly enunciation. Is that our $2 word for the night? Enunciation. I'll give you the silly enunciation. It is 510. Why is that? That's ridiculous. It's like it's super enunciation time. 510-331-9112 is the phone number if you would like to call or text in. If you have a comment, complaint, confession, a topic that you feel like we should be discussing, that's the number there. That is also the phone number for our midway giveaway, where every episode we do we have a trivia question, and we give out a gift certificate to a local business to the person who gets the question, gets the answer, who sends in the answer first. But that's at 7:30. And yes, so going back to the roll call, if there's anybody else who would like to get a shout out, please definitely post up a comment or say hello, and we'll give you a shout out, because it's fun to know who's listening and know who your neighbors are. And David, I'll say good evening to you, David. And a good evening to Brenda. Brenda is always on the show, and I appreciate your support. Brenda has a message. I saw that this Saturday, the 12th, is the 1-year anniversary of the community cupboard. They are asking for any donations to be put on the porch with name and phone number to be entered into a raffle to win a gift card for a local business. That's cool. Thank you, Brenda, for bringing that up. I haven't heard from Tanya on the show recently. She usually is listening and gets a shout out, but let me give you some information about the wonderful community cupboard that we have on Forest Avenue. And thank you again, Brenda, because that's a wonderful thing to add to the list tonight. And one more time, if you are listening and you like a shout out for the roll call, just post something up, and we'll let you. We'll give you a shout out. And Dennis, tell me about the new plans for the CV Lumber site. We will get to that later in the list. But getting back to what Brenda said, Brenda's comment about the community cupboard, Tanya Malley is the person responsible for the wonderful community cupboard on Forest Avenue. And all you have to do is you can search on Facebook, look up Community Cupboard Forest Avenue, and you should be able to find their Facebook page, which has a lot of information about the community cupboard, pictures about the items that are there, pictures of the features that are there. Yeah, wow, it's amazing. It's been 1 year. Tanya messaged in, she was looking for a refrigerator, and we posted something up, and within, I think, hours, somebody volunteered a refrigerator for the community cupboard on Forest Avenue to have, for them to allow perishable items to be given away. So there's a refrigerator freezer at this community cupboard. I have a friend who kind of is in tune with a lot of areas in the East Bay, and she actually mentioned to me that our community cupboard is one of the most impressive and best ones that she's ever seen. So And it's true. It's totally true. The concept there, if you're not familiar with community cupboards, is there's food out there constantly, and you can take items that you want or need, and you are also encouraged to, like Brenda mentioned, leave donations. Um, they accept perishable and non-perishable items. There's also a cork board that has, I think, recipes and coupons, and there's a plant exchange. It's super neat. It is very well used. It is extremely clean. I know there were some people concerned about the food being left out overnight. From what I understand, it's being taken in. The cupboards, some of the cupboards are closed, so there's no concern for pests or little four-legged critters getting into the food. So it's safe, it's clean, it's a wonderful, wonderful resource we have here in town, particularly during the pandemic when a lot of people were, I don't want to say food insecure, when a lot of people needed food. It was a wonderful resource for, like I said, a lot of folks in town, and also a wonderful resource for people who feel generous and want to share with others. I know for a fact, hearing from Tanya, that a lot of our local homeless individuals use the cupboard and acquire food, and that is extremely helpful. Bob is mentioning that Tanya is also a wonderful photographer. She has done great family photos of his grandkids. Another CV small business shout out. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I'm going to stop again and thank Bob for everything that he does to make the show go smoothly. Um, at some point, we're going to put Bob on the payroll as a producer and reporter, and I can't say enough. I can't express enough gratitude to Bob for all the things that he does, like I said, to make the show go smooth, and call in when I'm stammering and I'm all out of things on the list. Bob, you're appreciated, as is everyone else who listens and kind of tolerates my stammering. Everyone who else, there's so many names here of people that are here every week, and you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Let me do a last call for the shout outs. I see Mary is mentioning Bob is a great reporter. Let me give a shout out to Mary. I'm wondering where John is tonight. John is usually listening, and John is one of the folks that I'm in contact with not constantly, often, about things going on in town. John, if you're out there, hope you and your family are doing well and stay safe. So let me cross the roll call off the list. And by popular demand from Dennis, let's hang on, I got a window here that just expanded itself on my computer by itself. I guess I got a bug in here. Let's talk about the plans for the lumberyard. Let's get to that in a second. Robert is mentioning, over a year ago, I contacted Alameda County Public Works about repairing the buckling center island along the boulevard. I would call them again. I think that is 670-5400, and have another complaint. Actually, no, you called Public Works. Robert, you know what? I would call them again and let them know your concern again. If you like, Robert, send me an email or a private message and give me the exact location, and I will call them and see what's going on. And also, please, well, you said over a year ago, so you gave me the timeline, but definitely give me the exact location, like a landmark outside what business or a cross street, and let me know, and I will inquire with Public Works either tomorrow or the next day and see what's going on. And by the next episode, hopefully, I will have an update for you. So Robert is mentioning it's very damaged. That's unfortunate, because I think Well, depending on the location of the boulevard, a lot of the boulevard was redone a few years ago. However, there have been numerous unfortunate occasions where the new areas of the boulevard have had to been torn up for. I think there was PG&E for the new marketplace and other things. But definitely, Robert, please let me know the exact location, and I will follow up with Public Works at some point, like I said, either tomorrow or the next day, and I'll try to get an answer for you um, in a timely fashion, at least by the next episode. With that said, let's and definitely if you have another question or comment, if anybody has a concern, please post it up, or you can text me at 510-331-9112 east of Redwood Road. Robert, I'm geographically compass challenged, so definitely let me know, like I said, what business it is outside of, or the approximate cross street, and like I said, we'll follow up on that. So Dennis wants to know, what is the plan for the lumberyard at Castro Valley Boulevard and Stanton Avenue? So let me get some background information here. I have some actual literature, some marketing information given out by the folks at the lumberyard and what they're going to be doing here. So what's happening is, for the past 70 years, the corner of Stanton Avenue and Castro Valley Boulevard, 70 years, that location has been the home for Castro Valley Lumber. 70 years. That just blows my mind. And I believe the lumberyard was originally across the street and it was moved across, but that goes way back, and I don't have the exact year of that handy. But so what's happening is Craig Semmelmeyer, who is the investor and the gentleman who bought the Daughtry building and is responsible for the marketplace there, and also purchased another building near, that is Wilbeam, I believe, near Wilbeam. This gentleman has also now purchased some interest in the lumberyard property, and the plan that they have, which is so far it doesn't seem like a lot is cemented, because they don't have businesses lined up for the future purpose that they have in mind. But with that said, they are hoping to use the existing structures and do some minimal upgrades and minimal improvements, because the concept there is, when you do upgrades or you plan to do upgrades to structures that are kind of old, like I don't want to say old. Oh, let me pull that back in. Structures that are vintage, and such as the buildings at the lumberyard site, there can be significant problems with using or trying to upgrade old structures in certain ways. So the plan is that they are looking to use the existing structures and attract businesses such as an urban nursery, an Airstream cafe, and I believe that's something like an outdoor cafe. They are also looking for spaces for artists and makers to sell certain certain outdoor sort of items, and also other artists and makers that may have home and garden products. So basically, it's going to kind of be like an outdoor bazaar type situation. And John Tallman, who is one of the lumberyard owners, who has been there for many years, and a shout out to John, because John invited me to the yard last week and kind of gave me the lowdown and wanted to be as transparent and open as possible with this, because I'm sure a lot of us folks are familiar with the plan that was floated not too long ago for a Chick-fil-A to occupy that location, and that was met with pretty much a resounding no thank you from Castro Valley and also the Castro Valley Municipal Advisory Council. There were some folks who were excited about a Chick-fil-A at the location. Uh, it, it all boils down to that was just not a good location for a drive-through restaurant. One of the people from Chick-fil-A touted the project as Castro Valley should be proud because you would have the biggest drive-through in the Bay Area, and that honestly, during the meeting, was met by some strange looks. But anyways, Chick-fil-A is out, and the lumberyard project looks like it's going to be in. There will be a spot at the center where John will have. He has a business called Logarithm, where he does some amazing woodworking projects. He does a lot of tables. He's done a lot of the work at the marketplace, the tables outside, a lot of the wonderful woodwork inside and upstairs in the marketplace. John has done that stuff, those items. So, like I said, a lot of this is really preliminary, but and again, I got to tip my cap to John. He really wanted folks to know in advance, as much as possible, what may be happening at that lumberyard site. And just to give you a little bit of history, I used to be with the Castro Valley Forum, and for many, many years, two of the main locations that a lot of people on the Mac and people, just kind of people in town on a lot of boards and committees and commissions, like the people with the Chamber of Commerce back then, a lot of folks had their eye on the lumberyard in addition to the Rite Aid location as kind of anchor spots that really need some sort of improvement and to be revitalized. So this I'm hoping is going to be a good thing. I'm really hoping at the very least that the facades, from what I understand, the facade facing the boulevard, that is going to be improved. And I really think that location needs that because it's a gateway to Castro Valley. When you come up from, where is it? Is it Maddox? When you come up Maddox, it's one of the first things that you see. And it's, the side of the lumberyard, I think a lot of it is corrugated sheets. So if this project will bring some improvement to how that corner looks, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a good thing. Also, if it's going to be a destination that's going to attract more shoppers to Castro Valley, that's also a good thing. Let me look over this information to see if there's any more info that's kind of pertinent to our conversation here. Dennis is saying he likes the concept. Mary says she loves the cafe idea. Bob is saying would be interesting to talk to the developers. They have made a lot of commitments to Castro Valley, and Bob brings up a good point. Kind of backstepping a little bit, getting back to the gentleman who, like I said, he purchased the Daughtry building and is responsible for that building being improved. Like I said, he and some other partners purchased the building where Sal's Auto Shop and there's a dry cleaners. I think it's Willbeam and CVB. They just purchased that. They're looking to do the Flying A building there. They're hoping to attract a restaurant or a brew pub or a gastropub and other businesses there. And in addition to those two projects, he is also invested in this project. So Castro Valley definitely has the attention of Craig Semmelmeyer. And that's I wish I had more information for you guys in the lumberyard, but I think as time goes by, we will hear and see more information about that. At this point, my understanding is they do not have merchants or businesses signed up to occupy that spot. The literature that I have at this point is basically kind of a marketing pamphlet. But like I said, I'll say it the third time or fourth time, depending on what my memory shakes out to be. I got to give credit to John over at the Lumberyard. He's they've been really transparent with this project, and they were also very transparent with the Chick-fil-A project. Um, so yeah, thank you again, John. And let me give a shout out to Matella. Good evening, Matella. I hope you are well. I hope all is well in your world. I hope you're happy and healthy and things are going good. So let me just look at the lumberyard thing again. Yeah, that's all I have for the lumberyard topic. I wish I knew specific businesses that may be going in there, but it seems like they're doing some marketing right now, and hopefully we will see some facade and landscaping improvements at that site because it's kind of been an eyesore for a long time. Mary is asking about any news on Beer Baron coming to Castro Valley. From what I understand, they are coming. I do not know where they're at in that process. I've sent quite a few emails to them. They still have plans, preliminary plans, and interior and exterior designs for that location on their website. And Todd is mentioning Beer Baron is on June 14 CVMac agenda. So there's good news. There you go. There's good news with that. I will look that up and we'll find that for you. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate you thinking in advance and bringing forward that information. So yeah, June 14, that is next Monday. So there you go. We should find out more about Beer Baron next Monday. So thank you again, Todd. I appreciate that. I had no idea that was coming up on the Mac. And it looks like we're just about halfway here. So let me delete that from my screen. Thanks again, Todd. I appreciate that. And so we are going to get to the midway giveaway where Todd is also mentioning Beer Baron is going to be a great upgrade from the former Spanky's, and I agree. So Beer Baron they're like a brew pub. They're a whiskey bar. They're super, super popular. They have a couple locations across the Bay Area, and from what the plans look like, they plan on investing some money in this project, and I think it's going to be great. I've talked to some of the owners before, and they're super nice guys. So it looks like it's moving forward, and that's positive. So here we go. Here is the midway giveaway. So this is what we do. We do a local Castro Valley trivia question, and the first person that texts the correct answer to 510-331-9112 gets a $10 gift certificate to a Castro Valley business. And this week we are giving away a gift certificate to Aaron's Art Studio in the Village. If you've never been there before, they have been open, I think, 20 years. It's been a long time. I have known Erin for a long time. She is a wonderful person, a great local business owner that does a lot of things to support the community. So tonight's question it's kind of a two-pronged question. So the first part is, who is the individual that Castro Valley is named after, and what is kind of the notorious or interesting part of how he He owned Castro Valley, but he actually um, lost Castro Valley. So, who is Castro Valley named after, and how did his possession of Castro Valley cease to exist? 510-331-9112 is the number for you to text. So someone has the correct part, but you need the second part. So there is a 510 number that has the first part, but the second part is also just as interesting. So yes, the 510 person, you have the first part correct, but you need the second part as well to win. So people who are out there Googling this right now, that's okay. But like I said, the first person who gets the correct answers, actually it's an answer. Who is the individual that Castro Valley is named after, and how did he lose possession of Castro Valley? And Bob says he knows, but he won last week. So I'll give it to you one more time. 510-331-9112. And tonight's trivia question is kind of a two-pronged one, but you got to get both to win. Who is the individual that Castro Valley was named after, and how did he lose possession of Castro Valley? 510-331-9112. If you know the two-part answer, maybe that's not fair to have a two-part answer, but that's, I guess, how we're doing it tonight. Okay, the 510 person has both of the answers, and congratulations. The individual is Don Guillermo Castro, and unfortunately, he fell prey to a weakness for gambling, and unfortunately, he had to sell off portions of his lands to pay gambling debts and mortgaged his property. And mortgaging his property finally cost him his rancho, and eventually, his debts culminated in a sheriff's sale in 1864. And here's just going back, here's the history lesson. A wealthy New Englander, Faxon Dean Atherton, bought the remaining acres for $400,000. He and his family's name lives on in the San Mateo community of Atherton. So there you go. So person 510 area code, text me your address, your name and your mailing address, and I will send you your gift certificate, your $10 gift certificate. One more time. I will send you your $10 gift certificate to Aaron's Art Studio tomorrow. So definitely the person who had both answers, text me your name, address, and I will send you your gift certificate to Aaron's Art Studio tomorrow. That was fun, guys. Thank you. So I'm going to, okay, we got, oh, also I need to let you know that hang on, let me get my information here. I want to let you know that this episode's midway giveaway was brought to you by tonight's sponsor, forester.org. They are a local nonprofit with the mission to reforest urban communities, and you can learn more at their website, which is forestr.org. I'll give you that one more time because sometimes I talk fast, sometimes I don't say things correctly, as we all know. Again, tonight's midway giveaway trivia question was brought to you by forester.org, forestr.org. They are the folks who are at the side of the freeway entrance and off ramps, and they are picking up trash, beautifying our town. And for the past 2 weeks, they had a crazy plant giveaway that went wild, for the lack of a better term. It was amazing. They gave out 500 plants for free to anyone who walked up and said, "Please, may I have a plant?" And like I said, the past 2 weekends, they gave away 500 plants. And I want to give you a little bit more backstory about Forester, and I do this every episode because there's kind of a moral to it. Um, I kind of hung out with the folks from Forester quite some time ago over by Burger Island, which is near McDonald's and Jack in the Box, and they were gracious enough to invite me out to show me what they do, picking up some trash at the side of the freeway. And I hung out with them for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and I got the bug to go and pick up trash in my neighborhood. And I know this is like broken record episode, but uh, and I hope it doesn't sound corny, but to me, beautifying my neighborhood by picking up garbage makes me feel good. It definitely makes me feel good when I go by whichever site that I'm at that I've picked up garbage and it looks better, because there's a broken window theory where if you see a location that has a broken window or has trash, it kind of typically attracts more um, garbage dumping and more blight. So it may not be for you, but it is for me, and it is for the folks with Forester. I love picking up trash in the area that I go to. I got to admit, it at times gets frustrating because it seems like there's a lot of people just kind of, that are just driving by and they're just tossing garbage out their window. But it keeps me busy during the morning. So if you have time and you have the inclination or the inspiration or the feeling, which is inspiration, spend a couple minutes and pick up some garbage in your neighborhood. You might get that bug that we have. And I'm not just saying that because they're sponsoring the show. I genuinely have that bug. Definitely where I live in the neighborhood, if I see things and I can pick them up, I definitely do. It makes me feel good. It makes my neighborhood look better. So that's, like I said, if you like it, do it. If not, that's okay too. Thank you, Forrester, for sponsoring the show, and thank you to you listeners for indulging me in my blather about picking up garbage. Another thing I want to mention to you, and I'm excited because there's new information in regards to cruise night. I've mentioned this a couple times before. We're super excited to bring back cruise night August 28, 2021, 6 to 11 p.m. on Castro Valley Boulevard. There will be no street closures. There is no registration. Any classic car, any exotic car, any cool car, bring them out. We would love to have them out. I think in August we will have a good, safe crowd, and I'm hoping that people are going to come and have a good time and spend some money at our local businesses, because we all know our local businesses can definitely use any and all of the support possible. We are also partnering with the Chabot Theater, like we have for the past 2 cruise nights. And I just spoke to Jake with the theater earlier today, and it looks like we will be doing a free showing of Smokey and the Bandit, which is super cool. It's a great car movie. It's pretty good for the family. It's a fun old car movie. And you get to support the theater. The concession stand will be open. And just in general, guys, and I was just talking to Jake about this earlier. The Chabot Theater has had a horrible year because of the pandemic. They've basically been closed during the entire shelter in place. They were open very briefly, and they did an external concession stand thing that was extremely successful. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic, one person complained, and the powers that be came out and told the theater that they could not do that event anymore, even though everyone was socially distanced, and the fact that they were, being as safe as possible. They were forced to not do that event again, and that's unfortunate. So I think it's really incumbent upon us. Incumbent might be another $2 word. It might be a $1.50 word, but I think it's really important. I'm not going to say that word again, but I think it's important for us to definitely support the Chabot now, to make sure that we keep that beautiful gem in our downtown area open. And with that said, we need to support all of our businesses as many times as we can, as often as we can. Even if you're just buying paper clips or pencils or pens, go to a local business. I don't know if you guys listened to a couple episodes ago. I was talking about. I just kind of shared some of my thoughts about Amazon and just how huge they are and the effect that they have on small businesses. And our producer Bob had mentioned that as a senior citizen, Amazon was kind of a huge help for him during the pandemic when stores were closed to get some of the things that he really needs. So I get that value. I get that it serves a purpose for people who can't go out. But I think for the people who can go out, I think we should definitely shop local and spend our money in our community. Please do that as often as you can, as much as you can. Going back to the trash pickup thing, Leon is mentioning my aunt every day picks up trash, sweeps the sidewalk where she lives, and really keeps her neighborhood clean. She lives by the car wash on Lake Chabot Road. Thank you, Leon's aunt. Or is it Sharon Leon? Thank you to your aunt. Thank you for the comment. Um, that's beautiful. So getting back to local businesses, let's and mentioning Amazon, and I know every time we have this conversation, um, it kind of turns into a commercial for Amazon. But I deleted my Amazon account. And good evening, Denise. We missed you during the roll call. Hope you're doing well. And good evening to Ray. Ray mentioned his kids watched the documentary called Plastic Ocean. We have spent time cleaning up creeks in Castro Valley. I heard that documentary is good. Um, Getting back to Amazon, yeah, I deleted my Amazon account. I just kind of made a decision to shop local as much as possible, and for a lot of items that I did purchase on Amazon, I purchased directly from the manufacturer or the company that produces said items. Um, my reality may not be for you, but just food for thought in respect to shopping local. Let me cross. That's another thing. Oh, two more things off the list here. Oh boy. Let me find the next topic that I wanted to bring up. Bear with me, guys. I need to find this thing here. And there's actually Sharon Leon. I'm sorry, Sharon Leon. I got your name incorrect, and thank you for correcting me. Oh boy. On Friday, June 4, you guys probably saw this all over the headlines here in Castro Valley. Getting back to Amazon. Darn. Here we go. Here's more commercial time for Amazon. An Amazon delivery driver on Friday, June 4, was caught on camera punching a 64-year-old customer in Castro Valley repeatedly over. And you guys can watch the video yourselves and come to your own conclusion. The words were exchanged, from what I understand, and the driver, the Amazon driver, it turned into a very violent dispute. Denise says she quit Amazon. Thank you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But then again, there's other people who love Amazon, and I don't want to. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to push anyone in any direction, but my conscience told me to quit Amazon, and I did. So, you guys probably saw the video. You heard the story. Words were exchanged. This Castro Valley resident was assaulted, and the worker Istel Ramirez, 21 years old. She was arrested, um, and apparently she was arrested on suspicion of battery, causing serious bodily injury, and elder abuse. Her bail has been set at $100,000. So, um, what I wanted to bring up in regard to that, from what I understand, there were words on from both parties, and what I wanted to mention was something that Linda over at Pete's Ace Hardware had mentioned to me recently, and she suggested that we discuss and bring up. And I didn't up till this point. So, Linda, if you're listening, I apologize for not bringing this up sooner, like you had mentioned. But some of the things that are happening with people in retail and just in general is there's a lot of people who are kind of on edge, and it's just generally a tense time. There's a lot of discomfort in regards to a lot of things. So kind of what's happening, and I'm just going based on the information that the folks over at Pete's Ace Hardware have told me, is that some customers have been kind of um, verbally unpleasant with a lot of the people that work at Ace Hardware and just in general. And from what I understand, for a lot of business owners, it's kind of a difficult time because of we're at the because of the pandemic. I'm not going to say we're at the tail end of it because the game could change any day. But the point that Linda was making to me was it would be a good thing to let people know to have a little bit more patience with the folks who are working at these stores. They are doing their best with a lot of the regulations and the shelter in place orders. And we're in the yellow tier now, so things are easing again. However, there are still some regulations that still need to be enforced, and there are still some stores that have their own. Mac is mentioning as much as possible he does shop local, and I want to say a shout out to Mac because I've known Mac for quite a while. Mac is a solid guy. Bob is also mentioning A's 1, Arizona 1, bottom of the 4th. Go A's. And I shouldn't say go A's, stay in Oakland. That's going to be another topic for another show, and definitely we'll bring Bob on to discuss that. But getting back to when you're out and about and you're at a store, life is difficult for everyone. That's relative. But a lot of the people who have been on the front lines, working retail, working at restaurants, are kind of bearing the brunt of the bad feelings and negative vibes that a lot of us have. I can't believe I just said vibes. But give them a break. They're doing the best that they can because of the shelter in place, because of the pandemic, because of the regulations. A lot of places are having a lot of difficulty keeping staff because of these bad and borderline abusive interactions that have happened with customers. And I'm not trying to argue the merit of the delivery driver situation. You can definitely check that out yourself and draw your own conclusions. But I think any good reporter will tell you that there's two sides to every story. There's two sides to every waffle, and you got to figure out which side has the syrup on it. But anyways, it's best to be fair. I'm not going to make any assumptions in that interaction. I could wax poetic and wax my personal opinion on that, but it really has no place here in this discussion. But if you're out and about and you're dealing with some of the people who have been on the front lines during the pandemic since day one, because Pizza Ace Hardware never closed during the pandemic. They were one of the essential businesses that never closed, in addition to a lot of the supermarkets. And I have seen firsthand in some of our supermarkets some people just getting really, really nasty with people that work there, be it just over something small, or be it over some people coming into the store not respecting the store's policy to wear a mask. And that's, that's a topic, third rail, that let's not get into, because that's, like I said, that's a third rail topic. Denise is suggesting take a deep breath and let it go. That is a very good suggestion. I think it was the Caltrans bumper sticker that always said, give them a break. Just give them a break. We're all people. We all got feelings. We can all be on edge. We all have our tempers. We all have those days where we're just bristling and can't and maybe can't cope. It's a simple gesture to be nice to someone, because you don't know what they might be dealing with. And that kind of touches on last week's brief discussion on mental health, because you never know what someone's going through. They might be going through the same thing that you're going through. Pain and discomfort and adversity, it's relative. We all go through it. It's universal. So, I mean, if you can share a smile, it's a lot easier than giving someone the finger out on the street. Anyways, guys, we are reaching the end of the show, and I am definitely at the end of my list of stuff to talk about. So, if you have a comment, question, confession, text it in 510-331-9112. And within the next few minutes that we have left, we can talk about it. If there's anything you want to know about here. Oh, wait. Bob is saying 2-1 Oakland. Go A's. Actually, stay A's. Hey, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I don't have anything left. And it's been a fun show. We covered a lot of good stuff. We gave away a gift certificate to Aaron's Art Studio, a wonderful local business. Thank you guys for being awesome. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Every Tuesday. And next week will be our 60th episode. And that blows my mind that we have done this 60 times. And 60 times you guys have made the show amazing. You guys are fantastic. Be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and as always, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Have a great night, guys.